Zerithia was a beautiful planet. Its skies were soft blue. Its mountains were covered in silver trees. The people were calm and peaceful. For many years, Zerithia lived in peace. No wars, no fear, no violence. But then, one night, something changed. The people of Zerithia watched the humans march into the forest, weapons ready, no fear in their eyes. Why did the humans come with weapons, not words? What did they know? And what were they planning to do next? A child disappeared from a village. The next night, 3 more were taken. No sounds, no signs, just empty beds and broken doors. The people were scared. They had no armies, no weapons. They believed in peace, not war. Their leaders came together and spoke in whispers. "We must ask for help," said Elder Joran. "We are not fighters. Someone out there must listen." They sent a message, a deep, desperate SOS signal, into the stars. It was a cry for help, sent in every direction, hoping someone would hear. And then, they'd waited. 1 day passed. Nothing. 2 days. Silence. 5 days. Still no answer. The nights grew darker. More people vanished. Fear covered Zerithia like a heavy storm. Parents stopped letting children out at night. Lights stayed on until sunrise. Every shadow looked like danger. Then, on the 7th day, something changed. A bright light appeared in the sky. Then another. And another. Dozens of them. Fast. Powerful. Glowing with red fire. The people ran outside and pointed to the sky. Someone heard us. They shouted, "Help has come." The ships looked strange. They were sharp, strong, made of dark metal. They didn't glide like the peaceful traders. They roared like thunder. One small child whispered to her mother, "Are they angels?" The ships didn't answer the SOS with words. They answered with landing gears. They touched down in perfect lines outside the capital city. Gates opened. Soldiers stepped out. But they were not angels. They were humans. The people of Zerithia had heard stories of Earth. It was a death world. A planet where everything tried to kill you. Fire, ice, poison, monsters. Earth's people, the humans, had survived all of it. They were strong, fierce. Some said they were cruel. The Zerithians had never seen a human before. Now, they saw many. The humans didn't smile. They didn't wave. They wore dark armor and moved like machines. Their eyes scanned everything. Their hands rested on weapons. They said nothing. They built machines. They set up walls. They pointed scanners at the sky. The people of Zerithia waited for a greeting, a speech, a kind word. They got none. The humans were not here to talk. They were here to prepare. A small group of Zerithian leaders walked forward, carefully, hands raised. Elder Joran tried to speak. "Greetings from Zerithia. We thank you for answering our call. We." A human held up a hand. He did not shout. He did not smile. He only asked one question. "Who is hurting you?" Joran blinked. We don't know. They come in the night. They take our people. We can't see them." The human turned and spoke into a small device. The others nodded. They began working faster. Joran stepped back, confused. "They're not like us," whispered another leader. "They don't even speak kindly." But far above, in orbit, the human command ship watched everything. And inside that ship, Commander Reyes stared at the planet below. His voice was low and calm. "They hurt children," he said. "They take people in the night. This isn't peacekeeping. This is hunting." He looked at his soldiers. "Get ready." Back on the surface, more machines landed. Drones flew through the skies. Human boots shook the ground. Villages were scanned. Tracks were followed. Heat maps lit up the forests. In the quiet, in the silence, the humans searched for the enemy. Zerithians stood and watched, unsure. Why didn't the humans speak more? Why didn't they explain? Were they angry? Were they dangerous? One young Zerithian boy whispered to his mother, "Are they here to help us, or to start a war?" His mother didn't answer, because in that moment, a loud blast hit the sky. One of the human drones exploded. From the forest, something fired again. The enemy had made a mistake. They had attacked a human machine. The humans didn't wait. They didn't run. They didn't ask again. Weapons came alive. The ground shook. The humans began moving fast, straight toward the danger, like they already knew how to fight in forests, in darkness, with no fear. The Deathworlders had arrived, and they were not here for peace. They were here for justice. The night was quiet again, too quiet. The humans had gone into the forest. They moved fast, like shadows. Their weapons were silent, but deadly. They didn't speak much, only used short hand signs. Every step had purpose. Every look was sharp. The people of Zerithia watched from a distance. They were scared, but also curious. What were the humans doing in the forest? They soon found out. Before sunrise, the humans returned, but they were not alone. Behind them was a small flying craft, a raider ship. Black, damaged, burned. The humans had taken it. Zerithians gathered to see. Many were afraid to go near. But the human commander, Reyes, stood in front of the ship and said one thing. "We caught one." Then he turned away and walked inside. The leaders of Zerithia were invited to the human camp. The air inside felt heavy. The machines hummed. Screens glowed red. Soldiers walked with calm eyes and full weapons. Elder Joran stood quietly, waiting. Then Commander Reyes spoke. "We asked who hurt you," he said. "You said you didn't know. Now, we know." He pressed a button. A screen lit up. Inside the captured ship, there were cages, small cages. Inside them, people, Zerithians, scared, weak. Some were barely breathing. One child looked into the camera and whispered, "Help us." Joran's hands shook. His voice broke. They were taking our people to sell. Commander Reyes nodded. "Your planet was being used as a hunting ground. They take your people, then sell them across the stars." Joran looked at the ground. "We didn't know. We only saw the dark." Reyes looked at him, calm but cold. "We did." Back in the human camp, soldiers sat in silence. One of them, Sergeant Lynn, watched the video again. Her eyes filled with tears. "That child," she whispered. "He reminds me of my little brother." Another soldier touched her shoulder. No words, just strength. The mood changed. Sadness became anger. Commander Rice walked in. His voice was clear. "We don't come from a kind world. On Earth, we learn to survive. We learn to fight. We know what monsters look like." He looked around at his team. "We're not here to protect walls. We're here to bring those people home. Every last one." The soldiers stood. No cheers, no noise, just action. That night, the humans moved again. This time, they didn't wait for the enemy to strike. They went hunting. Using the tech from the captured ship, they tracked the raiders' location, deep underground, hidden in rocky hills outside the city. Zerithians had never seen this place before, but the humans, they had already mapped it. They'd moved in teams, fast, silent, deadly. Inside the dark tunnels, the humans found more than ships. They found cells. People locked inside. Sick, tired, hurt. When one human soldier broke the lock and opened a cage, a young Zerithian girl hugged him tightly and cried. She whispered, "Are you the angels?" He shook his head slowly. "No," he said. "We're the humans, and we don't leave anyone behind." Outside, the enemy finally realized what was happening. Alarm bells rang. Gunfire echoed in the caves. But it was too late. The Deathworlders had already begun their work. In 15 minutes, 4 enemy ships were on fire. In 30 minutes, all cages were opened. In 45 minutes, the humans walked out with every prisoner saved. No one left behind. The people of Zerithia stood by the city gates as the humans returned. One mother saw her child running toward her and fell to her knees in tears. The humans said nothing. They just walked past, watching the sky. Later that night, Joran asked Commander Reyes, "Why do you fight like this? You don't know us. You don't owe us anything." Reyes looked up at the stars. His voice was quiet. "There are 2 kinds of people in the galaxy," he said. "Those who take and those who stop them." He turned. "We stopped them." Cliffhanger ending for Part 2. Just before dawn, a human radar picked up a signal. A message from inside Zerithia itself. Someone had warned the enemy, told them about human movements, shared maps. A traitor. Inside their own cities. Commander Reyes narrowed his eyes. "We have a leak. The real enemy might not be in the shadows. They might be right here." The sun rose slowly over Zerithia. Its warm light touched the silver trees, but the air felt cold. Something was wrong. The humans had saved many prisoners. The people of Zerithia cheered. Families were reunited. Children smiled again. But deep inside the human base, there was no celebration. Commander Reyes stood over a screen. The signal was clear now. Someone on Zerithia had betrayed them. The message came from the capital. It had been sent to the raiders. It told them where the humans were going. It warned them before the last attack. Someone didn't want the humans to win. Sergeant Lynn stepped forward. "We trusted them," she said. "Why would they help the enemy?" Reyes looked at the map. Fear, greed, or maybe they never wanted us here in the first place. Meanwhile, in the capital, a secret meeting was taking place. A Zerithian named Salin stood in a dark room, talking to a hologram. "They're too dangerous," Salin whispered. "They don't belong here. Their weapons, their strength, it will destroy us." The voice from the hologram replied, "Then keep feeding us their plans. Slow them down. Distract them." Salin's eyes were full of worry. "I didn't think the humans would be this strong. They scare even me." The voice laughed coldly. "That's why we need them gone." Back at the human base, the rescued prisoners were resting. One of them, a young girl named Yari, sat quietly beside a human soldier. She held a small toy in her hands, broken, dirty, but still precious. "Did you come from the stars?" she asked. The soldier nodded. "Yes." "Why?" He looked at her carefully. "Because someone hurt you, and we don't let that happen." She looked up at him. "Will they come back?" He paused. "No, we'll stop them." Later that day, the humans launched a new mission. This time, they weren't just saving people. They were going to destroy every last enemy base. Commander Reyes stood before his team. "There's no room for fear now," he said. "No talks. No warnings. No mercy." He raised his weapon. "They take life. We protect it. Let's finish this." The humans attacked at sunset. They moved like fire, fast and unstoppable. Drones flew overhead. Ground teams moved in perfect sync. Enemy turrets were destroyed in seconds. They hit 3 raider camps in one night. Each one burned to the ground. Each one left no place for slavers to return. In one base, the humans found a room full of stolen tech. Maps, codes, signals, and something worse. Recordings, videos of prisoners, beatings, auctions, screams. One soldier, big and quiet, punched the wall so hard it cracked. Sergeant Lynn stepped forward. She looked sick. They were filming this, for money. Reyes watched in silence. His face was stone. "Send everything to Earth Command, then burn it." The next morning, Zerithian leaders visited the human base. They wanted to speak, to thank them. But the humans didn't smile. Commander Reyes met them outside. Elder Joran spoke softly. "We are grateful for what you've done." "Truly." Reyes nodded once. "But someone is helping the raiders. Someone from inside your cities." The Zerithians looked shocked. One of them stepped back. Joran asked, "Do you know who?" Reyes stared at them. "We will." Hours later, a human team raided a government building in the capital. The Zerithians were shocked. People ran. Sirens screamed. Inside the building, humans found what they were looking for. A hidden communicator. It matched the signal from the traitor. Salin was arrested. He shouted, "I did it to protect us. The humans don't belong here. They bring war with them." Reyes looked into his eyes. "No, war followed you long before we came. We just ended it." Just as Salin was taken away, a message came through human comms. A large enemy ship, not like the others, had entered orbit. It was 3 times bigger, heavily armed, and not hiding. Commander Reyes stared at the sky. Sergeant Lin asked, "Is it more raiders?" Reyes shook his head. "No, this isn't a slaver ship." He turned away. "This is a warship." The sky above Zerithia was no longer calm. The enemy warship hovered in orbit. Its size blocked the stars. Its weapons glowed with red light. It wasn't here to trade or speak. It came to end everything. Commander Reyes stood inside the human base, staring at the screen. The ship's power levels were rising. Its cannons were charging. Sergeant Lin spoke quietly. "It's not a slaver ship. This is military. Heavy shields. Massive weapons." Reyes didn't blink. "They're not here to take more prisoners." He turned to the team. "They're here to silence us. Forever." Panic spread across Zerithia. People ran through the streets. Some tried to hide underground. Others looked to the sky and cried. The same question echoed everywhere. Can the humans stop it? Elder Joran rushed to the human base. "Commander Reyes, we have no weapons. You must protect us." Reyes nodded. "We will." Earth Command had already sent a reply. Their words were simple. "You are not alone. Hold the ground." Reinforcements en route. The humans prepared. They activated defense systems. Giant energy shields lit up around the base. Missile launchers rose from underground. Satellites adjusted their aim. But Reyes knew the truth. They were outgunned. The enemy warship had more firepower than the entire base. If it opened fire, thousands could die in seconds. Sergeant Lin asked, "Should we evacuate?" Reyes shook his head. "We stay." That night, the enemy made contact. A transmission appeared on every screen. A dark alien figure with glowing eyes stared back at them. "You should not have come to this planet," the creature growled. "This was not your war." Reyes stepped forward, calm, cold. "You made it ours the day you took children." The alien laughed. "We do not fear Earth." Reyes replied with steel in his voice. "You will." At dawn, the first attack came. The warship fired a warning blast. It didn't hit the city, but the shockwave cracked buildings. Windows exploded. Trees bent like paper. The humans didn't run. Instead, they launched their drones into the sky. Fast, silent, deadly. The drones flew high, scanning the enemy ship, mapping every weak point. The enemy fired at them, but the humans were too quick. Sergeant Lin worked fast. "We found something," she said. "There's a vent, small, deep inside the hull. If we hit it from the inside, we can shut down their main weapon." Reyes nodded. "Who's flying?" One pilot stepped forward. Lieutenant Armin. Young, brave, quiet. "I'll do it," he said. Reyes put a hand on his shoulder. "Come back." As the battle raged above, something even worse happened below. Sabotage. An explosion rocked the power grid near the city. One of the humans' shield towers fell offline. Commander Reyes ran to the control room. Status. A tech answered. The power line was cut. From inside, someone hit us while the ship attacked. Another traitor. Reyes grabbed a comm. All units, secure every Zerithian building. We're not just fighting one enemy. We're fighting two. In the sky, Lieutenant Armin flew his small craft toward the warship. Alarms screamed. Enemy guns lit up. But he didn't stop. He dived, rolled, spun through fire. Inside the human base, every soldier watched in silence. "Come on," Lynn whispered. Armin reached the vent. Locked on. Fired. A single missile shot through the enemy hull and vanished inside. For a moment, nothing. Then, boom. A silent flash lit the sky. The enemy's main cannon shut down. Their shields dropped for 10 seconds. That's all the humans needed. Reyes shouted, "Fire EV or I thing." Missiles launched. Lasers lit up. A second wave of drones swarmed the ship. In orbit, the enemy warship groaned and shook. Its engines failed. Flames spread. Escape pods launched. Commander Reyes stared at the screen. "They're running." Sergeant Lynn exhaled. "We did it." But then, the radar blinked again. A new signal. Something bigger was coming. A message came from Earth Command. "We detected a larger fleet on the way. 20 ships. Unknown class. Estimated arrival. 3 days. Zerithia wasn't saved." This was just the beginning. Commander Reyes looked to the sky. "If they want a war," he turned to his team, "then we'll show them Earth's wrath." The sky above Zerithia was quiet. For now. But deep in space, 20 enemy warships were racing toward the planet. Bigger. Faster. Deadlier. Inside the human base, tension filled the air. Soldiers worked fast. Shields were rebuilt. Weapons reloaded. Plans drawn. Commander Reyes stood over the table map, his face hard as stone. "We have 3 days," he said. "That's all." Sergeant Lynn frowned. "We can't win against 20 ships, sir. Not with what we have here." Reyes looked around the room. "Then we don't fight with what we have." He tapped the map. "We fight with who we are." Back in the city, fear returned. Families packed bags. Many wanted to run. Some blamed the humans. Others looked at the sky and simply cried. Elder Joran met with the human team. "You should leave," he said. "Save your people. This is not your planet." Commander Reyes shook his head. "We don't leave planets to burn." Joran's voice trembled. "But you could die here." Reyes looked him in the eyes. "Then we die standing." That night, a secret plan was born. The humans knew they couldn't win a direct fight. So they prepared a trap. They used the wreckage of the last enemy ship to build fake targets, metal ghosts floating in orbit, dummy stations, decoy beacons. They hid mines inside asteroids. They moved their real weapons underground. Even the Zerithians helped. Farmers turned fields into traps. Children carried supplies. Engineers built walls. Everyone knew the truth. If Earth lost, Zerithia would fall next. On the second night, the fleet entered the outer system. Human satellites caught the signal. The enemy commander sent a message. "You had your warning. This time, we erase you from the stars." Commander Reyes replied with just 2 words. "Try it." As the fleet came closer, the humans held a quiet meeting. No shouting, no panic, just silence. Reyes looked at his team. "We may not survive," he said, "but every second we buy means more lives saved." He looked at each face, one by one. "Let's make Earth proud." Then the day came. The sky turned black with enemy ships. Their engines roared like thunder. Beams of red light split the clouds. The first blasts hit the decoy stations. Boom! Flames lit the sky. The enemy commander smiled. But then, nothing. No explosions below, no screams, just silence. He scanned the planet. Suddenly, half of his fleet lost signal. His ships were flying through a minefield. Explosions, fire, chaos. The humans had struck first. From the surface, the human base launched everything. Missiles, drones, EMP blasts. Enemy ships fell like burning stars. But still, more came. Inside the human base, alarms screamed. Shields failing. Outer wall breached. They're landing ground troops. Commander Reyes grabbed his rifle. All teams, defend the city. In the streets of Zerithia, the final battle began. Humans and Zerithians stood side by side. Fathers armed with farming tools, children helping the wounded, soldiers in steel armor covering families with their shields. One young Zerithian girl, Yari, held a radio and guided medics through smoke. Over here, he's hurt. Please hurry. Bullets flew. Explosions shook the ground. But they didn't fall back. They held. In the main command room, Sergeant Lin watched the numbers fall. 14 enemy ships destroyed. 6 remaining. But we've lost half our forces. Reyes clenched his fists. If we fall, we make sure they remember why they fear Earth. At the final moment, just as the enemy began pushing into the heart of the city, a new signal appeared. Earth reinforcements. 20 Earth warships dropped out of hyperspace, bigger than anything seen before. The lead ship sent a single message. This is the Terran Warhammer fleet. Target locked. Lasers lit the sky. Earth's weapons struck like hammers. One by one, the enemy ships exploded. Cheers broke out across Zerithia. Children screamed in joy. Families hugged. Even Commander Reyes allowed himself a breath. But it wasn't over. In the final seconds of battle, a small enemy pod crashed near the human base. Inside was a wounded alien, but not just any soldier. A general. He looked at Reyes with blood on his face and smiled. "You think you've won," he coughed. "We were just the first wave." Reyes stepped forward. "Then tell me, who sent you?" The general whispered. "They're already on their way. Not for this world, but for Earth." Reyes froze. Earth is the final target. The battle was over. The skies above Zerithia were calm again. Burned ships floated in orbit like broken bones. The ground was scared. Buildings damaged. Fields turned to ash. But the people were alive. The humans had won. For now, inside the human base, Commander Reyes stood over a hologram screen. The captured enemy general lay in a cell below, weak but still smiling. His final words echoed in Reyes' mind. "Earth is the final target." Sergeant Lin entered. "We've scanned the pod," she said. "There was a data crystal hidden inside." Reyes nodded. "Show me." The data opened. A hologram filled the room. Dozens of stars lit up. Some were crossed out, destroyed. Others glowed red, marked. At the center of the map was one bright blue world, Earth, and next to it, a countdown. Lin whispered, "They've already launched. A second fleet, headed to Earth." Reyes felt his heart tighten. How long? 20 days, maybe less. Across the base, soldiers who had survived cheered. Some cried. Some sang Earth songs. Zerithians lit candles. They wrote names of the lost on walls. They planted flowers in broken soil. Elder Jorin looked to the stars. "You saved us," he said to Reyes. "Now we must return the gift." Reyes shook his head. "This war isn't just about planets anymore." He stared at the map. "It's about survival." The next day, Reyes gathered every species, every voice, into one room. Zerithians, humans, even refugees from other worlds. He stood before them. "Earth is under threat. We are not asking for help. We are asking for unity." He raised his voice. "They came for you. Now they come for us. But this time, They won't face one world. They'll face all of us. There was silence. Then Elder Joran stepped forward. You stood with us. We will stand with you. Across the galaxy, the message spread. Earth's fleet returned home to prepare. But something bigger had begun. A call. Not for rescue, but for resistance. Human engineers worked with Zerithians to build new ships. Farmers became fighters. Children drew pictures of Earth and placed them in the windows. Old enemies became allies, and the galaxy began to change. Days later, Earth Command sent a signal to Reyes. We've received the data. Confirmed second fleet. Unknown origin. Bigger than expected. You must decide. Return home, or send a message the galaxy will never forget. Reyes stood alone in the war room. He looked out at the stars. So many had died. So many still would. But he knew what had to be done. He walked to the comm station. All systems ready, sir, said the technician. Reyes nodded. Send it. The message was simple. It played on every channel, in every language, across every system. To those who attack the weak, we have one answer. To those who steal children and burn cities, we are coming. You thought Earth was alone. You were wrong. We are humanity. We are Deathworlders. And this time, we are not coming to help. We are coming to end it. The galaxy watched. Some cheered. Some feared. But none could ignore it. The name Earth now meant something more. It meant hope. It meant fire. It meant the end of monsters. In space, far from Zerithia, the enemy fleet continued toward Earth. Thousands of ships. Dark. Silent. Inside the lead ship, a commander watched the message. He didn't speak. He simply stared at the final line. We are coming to end it. He turned to his officers. Prepare for war. And so, from one simple SOS, a fire was lit across the stars. A war began. A legend was born. The galaxy would never be the same again. This was the rise of the Deathworlders. Let me know if you'd like. A full narration script with voiceover tone and pause suggestions. Suggested background music and sound effects. Thumbnail ideas or visual prompts for each part.